What's up, guys? We got Smallville, Season 9, Episode 9, Pandora. So, anyway, this episode starts off with Clark talking to Oliver, and Oliver's like, hey, he's like, hey, Clark's like, hey, Lois is missing. And he's like, what do you mean missing? And he's like, he's like, you're supposed to be watching her, Clark. And he's like, when I went to take out that call from you, she was gone. So then they realize, so of course, they think Chloe took her, which is kind of random. So Oliver's like, hey, Chloe's like, I didn't take her. He's like, there's only one person that could took her. Tess Mercer. So we see Tess, and she has the unconscious Lois strapped up to a device that could relive her thing, that could let us see the things that she saw in the future. And her guy Stewart is like snaps her up. So then we get into Lois after the intro. We get into Lois's future, and we see that Clark is for some reason not around because that guy from the guy, one of Zod's followers that Clark put into the fan zone, is here in the future, and he's like, and she's like, hey, why didn't the blur stop you? Where's the blur? Why didn't he stop? Lois is like, where's the blur? Why didn't he stop you guys from taking off? And he's like, your blur's dead, and shows a picture of the blur. So yeah, so so Lois gets pushed into Clark's farm, no longer Clark's farm. It's now a prison for people. Wow, Clark. Wow, you couldn't fight these people and tell them not to take your farm for their own. And yeah, so Lois is stopped by one of Zod's people and says, "Hey." And Lois is like, "Hey, I was just trying to get some bread." So then Clark's like, "Hey, don't, hey, let her go." So yeah, so Clark gives over his dad's watch, and Lois is like, Clark, what did you do? That was your dad's watch. You're really sentimental toward that thing. And he's like, oh, Lois, you're not our Lois, because our Lois has disappeared for our Lois disappeared for like a long time. So so yeah. So anyway, we see. So anyway, so yeah, so yeah, so then we see, go and and then Tess like hooks herself up to Lois's thing so she see it, and then we see like they Lois gets captured by Zod. We see Tess there, and Tess is like, and Lois is like, "Oh, you're here, Tess. Come on. What you do? What are you doing here? What do you think you're doing here?" And she's like, "That solar tower is helping humanity." Like, and Lois is like, no, it's not. Come on. So they get into a fight, but then mysterious archers come in, including Oliver, and Chloe takes the shot, killing Tess. And Tess is just like, our Tess is like, hey, cut the program, erase her mind or something. And the dude and the steward guy's like, we'd be messing with someone's mind. Says something, and then he said, hey, we're messing up with someone's mind. So Tess is like, hey, if you want to do it, shoots him. And she shoots the dude, and yeah. So so yeah. So so yeah. So then we see, Lois. So then we see, Lois and the gang, and Chloe's kind of mad at Clark, saying, "Hey, whenever, why you left us, Clark? Like you deserted us." And Clark really gives kind of a good reason to why he left. Is because when Lois disappeared, he couldn't picture anyone but Lois. So he left Chloe and Chloe and Oliver, because they would remind him of Lois. And that's really interesting. He didn't leave his friends because he didn't care about them. He left them because they reminded him of his old ex-girlfriend, wife, friend. Don't know what Lois is in this future. So yeah. So they're like, hey, we gotta blow up the yellow sun. We gotta get the yellow sun. We gotta blow up the tower to get the yellow sun back. And Lois is kind of like, and get back to Clark. And Lois is like, what does this yellow sun have to do with a farmer in Smallville? Like, Lois, you don't know the half of it, even in the future. So they're like, so yeah. So anyway, they go and blow up the tower. Chloe gets killed, but Oliver's like, hey Lois, your Chloe is still alive. And once we blow up that tower, this future that they're stuck in will cease to exist. Meaning that this Clark, Chloe, Oliver will be no more. Because if they can make the future right, they can stop Zod. And Zod's kind of like, and yeah, so we get a confrontation between Clark and Zod, and they have a fight, and yeah, they blow up a tower. Lois leaves, and now we cut back to the present where Clark was in that future with Clark was in that future with her, and now they're like, hey, now it short circuits, and Lois loses her memory of the future, meaning that Lois probably only remembers having that fight with Tess. That means her memories of the future are gone. So yeah, so Lois asks Clark out on a date, and that kind of wraps up this episode. I enjoyed this one. It may be my favorite episodes of Smallville because of one reason, and one reason only. The way that they did Lois in the future. Like, Lois was kind of... Erica Durance was kind of good in this episode as Lois, because you got to see her, like... She was kind of confused, because all Lois thought was she got touched the Legion ring and didn't know what was going on, and so yeah, I think Erica Durance did a really good job in this episode. Lois, she was good. I liked the way that they did the red sun, like the sky was red. Tess shooting her IT guy was kind of okay. It was kind of bad that the guy got shot. He only got shot because he wouldn't do what Tess wanted, and it's kind of like, and yeah, so, but anyway, that wraps up this episode of Smallville. I'll see you guys in the next one, and see ya.